It was a quiet summer night in Des Moines, Iowa. The air was still, the stars clear. Then something flickered on the TV screen tuned to KCCI. The late news had ended, and the weather radar map was looping. Then it happened. A flicker, a pulse, a shape that didn't belong. A perfect circle bloomed on the radar, centered just west of the city. Vibrant green, then yellow, then a menacing red. It pulsed like a heartbeat. Outside, silence. On the screen, a storm of biblical proportions seemed to gather, but the windows reflected only the placid, starry sky. A phantom tempest broadcast into living rooms across Iowa. The anomaly pulsed for 15 minutes, then vanished. A glitch, a ghost in the machine. The quiet of the Heartland was broken that night, not by thunder, but by a single, terrifying thought. What did I just see? The next morning the world looked the same, but something had changed. The sky above Des Moines was still, but the air was charged with questions. The night the sky went wrong was only the beginning. In Iowa, weather isn't just small talk, it's the main conversation. For decades, one name has been synonymous with Weather Truth, KCCI Channel 8. Their slogan, Iowa's Weather Leader, isn't just marketing, it's a statement of fact. Iowans have turned to KCCI's meteorologists for guidance through nature's most unpredictable moments. Their faces are as familiar as family, their voices a source of calm in chaos. When a tornado watch was issued, it was KCCI's steady voice that cut through the fear. Their storm chaser vehicles were local legends bringing ground-level reality to the screen. This was not a station that made mistakes. Their technology was state-of-the-art, their people, the best in the business. So when that strange, pulsing circle appeared on a calm July night, it wasn't just a technical glitch. It was a crack in the foundation of trust. The Super Doppler 8 was supposed to be infallible, translating the atmosphere into simple, color-coded warnings. But what did this perfect pulsing circle mean? It wasn't in the meteorological vocabulary. The idea that KCCI's signal could be compromised was unsettling on a profound level. The station had built an empire on reliability, now their own data was the source of the mystery. It was the beginning of a quiet unraveling, a story told not on the 6 o'clock news but in hushed tones and late-night forums. The trusted voice of the Heartland had a secret, and for the first time, Iowans wondered if they could believe what they saw. The bond between broadcaster and viewer had been shaken, and trust, once cracked, is hard to repair. It started with a grainy cell phone picture uploaded to a local Des Moines forum at 2:30 a.m. The caption, "Anyone else seeing this on KCCI?" The image showed an impossible circle, a phantom storm. Replies trickled in, "Yes, I thought my TV was broken, what is that? There's nothing outside." The first anomaly was a fragmented personal experience stitched together online by insomniacs and third-shift workers. This wasn't just a blip. Weather systems are chaotic, messy, organic. They don't form perfect circles or pulse with a steady mechanical rhythm. This anomaly, quickly dubbed the Eye of Iowa, behaved like a machine, expanding and contracting in precise intervals. The next morning there was nothing on KCCI's morning show. The weather report was business as usual. For those who saw the phantom storm, it was a jarring disconnect. Had they imagined it? The online posts were their only proof. The world, and the station at the center of it all, acted as if nothing had happened. The silence was more disturbing than the anomaly itself. The ghost on the radar was now a ghost in the room, and the mystery was only deepening. The circle on the radar was just the beginning. The anomalies began to evolve. They started to bleed into live broadcasts, especially during real storms. At first it was subtle, a flash of static, a moment of audio dropout, but the timing was uncanny. It always happened at the most critical moments. The screen would fizzle, the audio would cut to a low hum, then return. During a severe thunderstorm warning, meteorologist Sarah Jensen was tracking a cell moving toward Polk County. "This is a very serious..." The screen dissolved into static. Her voice was replaced by a sharp electronic screech. When the picture returned, she was flustered, apologizing for the technical difficulties. These weren't just random glitches. A pattern began to emerge. The static wasn't just noise. Viewers who recorded the broadcasts claimed to hear things within the noise. Faint voices, numerical code, a pulsing tone. It was the stuff of conspiracy thrillers, but it was happening on the evening news. The public started calling them static storms. Social media would light up. "Did you hear that? Another static storm on Channel 8. Beneath the curiosity was a growing sense of dread. The glitches felt targeted, intentional. They were eroding the very purpose of the broadcast, to deliver clear, life-saving information. The static was no longer just noise, it was a message in itself, a message that said, "We can interrupt this program whenever we want." And the viewers were left to wonder, who was sending it? The internet did what it does best, turning a spark of curiosity into a wildfire of speculation. The KCCI weather mystery became a phenomenon. Reddit threads exploded, Facebook groups gained thousands overnight, citizens became digital detectives, archiving every glitch, analyzing every frame, mapping every phantom circle. The fear was palpable, and it wasn't just online. In coffee shops and grocery stores, the question was always, "Did you see Channel 8 last night? If you can't trust the weather report, what can you trust?" The glitches during severe storms were terrifying. People imagined a real tornado warning swallowed by static at the worst moment. The unknown is always scarier than the known, and KCCI was now broadcasting a whole lot of unknown. Conspiracy theories, once fringe, became mainstream. Was it sabotage, electronic warfare, weather control? Some pointed to agribusiness giants, suggesting the anomalies were side effects of secret weather modification experiments. The narrative was no longer about technical problems. It was about power, control, and secrets. The lack of official explanation created a vacuum, filled by fear and suspicion. The digital storm of public opinion was as powerful as any real tornado, and trust, once lost, is hard to regain. In the face of mounting pressure, KCCI's response was silence. Reporters' calls were met with polite, "no comments." Emails went unanswered. The fortress on 9th Street had pulled up its drawbridge. The trusted voice of the Heartland had gone mute on the one topic everyone was talking about. When cornered, meteorologists offered vague technical jargon, complex radar systems, atmospheric ducting, signal interference. One simply said, "We report the weather the best we can with the data we are given." The data we are given. Given by whom? The silence validated the most paranoid theories. If it was just a glitch, why not say so? The station chose silence. A decision that felt less like discretion and more like a gag order. The silence extended beyond KCCI. NOAA referred reporters back to the station, creating a perfect circle of non-information. This wasn't just a local TV station's problem anymore. The wall of silence was institutional, stretching from the newsroom to the federal government. Whatever was happening, the people in charge did not want the public to know. When official sources refuse to speak, the public finds its own answers, often in conspiracy. The name that surfaced most often, HAARP, the High-Frequency Active Auroral Research Program. To online investigators, the pulsing circles looked like the theoretical signatures of a HAARP-like ionospheric heater. Could the skies over Iowa be a testing ground? The theory was both terrifying and strangely logical. It suggested a government or corporate entity was using directed energy to manipulate the ionosphere, creating localized atmospheric changes. The radar anomalies and broadcast interruptions weren't glitches, they were evidence. The perfect circles were the beam's footprint, the static, electronic fallout. People dug up declassified documents, patents for ionospheric heaters, and noted Iowa's central location, ideal for discrete testing. The narrative wrote itself a secret program, hidden in plain sight using the Heartland as its laboratory, and KCCI, wittingly or not, was broadcasting the proof. The idea was intoxicating because it offered an explanation, however frightening. The silence wasn't about covering up a technical flaw, it was about protecting a top-secret research program. The weather, it seemed, was no longer just an act of God, it might be a program. Just as the HAARP theories peaked, a new voice emerged. An anonymous email sent to a popular KCCI weather mystery blog. The sender claimed to be a former engineer for a company that serviced NEXRAD radar systems, including KCCI's. The email was cautious, cryptic, and filled with fear. The blogger published it, redacting details. It was a bombshell. The engineer didn't mention HAARP or weather control, but something more grounded, and just as disturbing. Over the past year, they'd been called to service the Des Moines radar for anomalous data signatures. Their work was supervised by technicians who weren't from their company or NOAA, quiet professionals in plain clothes. They directed engineers to perform specific data filtering and signal attenuation protocols, not standard maintenance. The system was being intentionally manipulated. The phantom circles and anomalies were the result of data injection tests. Sometimes those tests leaked into the public feed. The static and broadcast interruptions? A kill switch to cut the feed if an unauthorized signal was about to be broadcast. The public broadcast system was part of the experiment. The email ended with a warning. They are not just hiding what is there, they are testing their ability to show us what isn't there. The goal is total information control. Sometimes what you see on that radar is not the sky, it's a script. The radar was not a window, it was a screen. The whistleblower's email led citizen investigators to uncover unsettling patterns. The phantom circles appeared on Tuesday or Wednesday nights between 1 and 3 a.m., always in the same rural areas west of Des Moines. The duration was always a multiple of 5 minutes, suggesting a schedule for an experiment. The static storms also had a pattern, occurring during broadcasts of rapidly developing supercell thunderstorms. It was as if these events were of interest to whoever was monitoring the signal, and the interruptions were triggered when the broadcast got too close to revealing something. Or perhaps the storms themselves were the experiment, and the static was the system's way of censoring the results in real time. The pieces fit together into a narrative, a secret program using advanced technology to influence or study severe weather. The public radar system was used to monitor, inject false data, and censor inconvenient truths. The silence from KCCI and NOAA wasn't ignorance but complicity. They were forced to play their part in a massive deception. And so, the mystery remains.